I once was a boy and then I became a woman. Oh wait, wrong video. I mean, I once was a boy and then I became a man. And the thing that made me a man was these Muck boots. For the longest time, I wore hikers everywhere I went. And don't get me wrong, there's some really good hiking boots out there. Solomons are all the rage now for the tactical crowd. Haven't got my hands on a pair of Solomon hikers, although I do have a pair of Solomon running shoes. But I can tell you that these Muck boots are something that every prepper and survivalist bushcrafter should have in their arsenal. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why. I got these Muck boots on sale at a wholesale sports going out of business sale about, I think, 2.5 years ago now. And I believe it was 2.5 years ago, maybe it was 1.5, I can't quite remember. Regardless, they've been indispensable for me ever since when I'm out in the wilderness, whether I'm hunting, whether I'm just camping, especially if I'm doing something in the water like kayaking or fishing. I would say that if you're a farmer, if you're a homesteader, even gardening, these things are indispensable. Doing work around the yard, having a good pair of rubber boots should be up there on your gear priority list. But I have, hiked with them quite a bit. I took them on my 5-day trek with Survival Lily, and they worked incredibly well, not only for backcountry hiking up steep ridges, but they were indispensable in terms of getting out of the boat. And you get a good 18 inches or so of clearance. You can get ones which are taller. They come in all different sizes and shapes. And Muck boots has nothing to do with this review, and that's how I like it. Those are the best reviews, the ones where companies don't send me products. I go out and I buy the product first. Those are the reviews that I feel most comfortable doing. And so I can speak freely about how great these boots are. Now, the coloring has faded a little bit, that Realtree camo pattern that you see there, but that's not really a huge issue for me. I'm not really trying to camouflage my shoes. They are comprised of a patented neoprene material, and I can tell you that these, I think, were rated for -40, and I didn't believe that at first. I figured, how could a boot like this be rated for -40? And I don't even think they're the Arctic versions, so I don't think that they're the most like the warmest versions you can get. I believe that there's a warmer version. Actually, Living Survival did a great review of the Arctic Muck Pro boot. That's the Arctic Pro Muck boot, and you can go check that out. I'll post a link to that in the description. Excellent review. He spent a lot of time in the wilderness. He's used these for a while. He can attest to what I'm saying here today, that these are probably the best boot that you can get all around. Because the problem with hiking boots and even gaiters is that no matter what hiking boot you get, whether it's a Gore-Tex coating or not, that Gore-Tex eventually wears off, and no hiking boot that I've used anyways is 100% waterproof. And keeping your feet dry and warm is so crucial, not just in a survival situation, but in any, when you're doing work out there, whether it's recreational activity or otherwise. Keeping your feet warm and comfortable is one of the best things. And the first time I put these boots on, it was like instant comfort. There was very little break-in period. The foam material, I'm not sure if these ones have a fleece liner or if it's just the neoprene I'm feeling, but whatever it is, it's a very comfortable liner. And right now it's plus 27 and it's very humid. There's a high humidex, and my feet are still comfortable. They're not overly hot. Yes, if you wear these for long periods of time, they're definitely going to get hot, but they also have some breathability to them. So that's going to make it a bit more manageable in these conditions, which is different from most rubber boots, which are totally impermeable and not breathable at all. So these things have now been a game changer in the wilderness for me. If you're going to be doing fishing, if you're going to be going walking through mud in particular, walking through mud in hikers is a terrible experience. Because if you want to wash them off, you can't just, go into the river. You don't want to go into the river and get them even more wet. Let's wait till the airplane passes us. Damn civilization always getting in the way. It's okay, it's gonna end soon. Yeah, so if you're trying to wash off a muddy pair of hikers when you're in mid-trip, that's gonna be problematic, because if you do that, then your boots are gonna get wet. And if you do that with these, however, because they have that rubber exterior, the neoprene exterior, which is a patented waterproof material, you're gonna be able to wash the mud off the boot and keep on moving. So a pair of boots like these, I think, is potentially a lifesaver, not only because they're going to keep your feet very warm. And part of the thing with keeping your feet warm is having enough real estate to move around within there and not constricting your toes. Part of the reason why a lot of people get cold feet in the winter time is because you're stuffing too many layers of socks or something like that into your boot. And I used to have that problem where I would wear 2 pairs of wool socks and a nice, a $200 pair of boots, and I was wondering why my feet still kept getting cold. And it's because I was constricting the blood vessels in my feet. So now with these, I just wear 1 pair of darn tough socks or their equivalent pair of merino wool socks, and with the Muck boots, and that usually is enough to keep me going down to about -20. Anything below that, I'm probably gonna have to throw one of those disposable toe warmers in there, or I may even have to step it up to the Arctic versions. Because now that I've put these things through the ringer in the last 1.5 years, I would say that, in terms of the durability, I'm pretty impressed with that. I was hiking over really sharp sticks, stones, and there was no puncture to the boot. They're still 100% waterproof. So I think I'm ready to make the leap now into buying another pair of Mucks. Now I think the price point on these is around the $200 mark. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure you can get them cheaper. I'm sure there are more expensive models as well. But in my opinion, to have good, proper foot protection out there in the wilderness that's going to enable you to do what you want to do without having to think about it. Like Living Survival says, you're not having to worry about wiggling your toes when you're in a tree stand, freezing, things of that nature. It's good to have a good pair of boots. It's going to go a long way, especially if you're like me and you've had some partial freeze bite in the past and your feet tend to freeze very easily. Then you're going to want something like this. Survival Lily found out the hard way on our trip about the importance of rubber boots. And that was one part my fault, because I didn't caution her, I didn't have that discussion with her beforehand about the importance of having rubber boots, because a lot of people are content with hikers, and hikers are okay, don't get me wrong, you can get by with hikers. I got by with hikers tree planting for 7 years. But like I said, once I was a boy, then I became a man. When it comes to doing homestead work, hunting, fishing, anything recreational in the bush whatsoever, just going out to, do some yard work on a rainy day or something like that, these boots are where it's at. Another thing I like about these boots is that they're great for tick protection. So there's been a lot of ticks this year, and even into July, there's still ticks. We're still finding them on myself and Marshall when we go onto the bush, which is totally different than how it used to be. It used to be come June 1st, usually most of the ticks are gone, but now times have changed. So the great thing about these is because they ride so high, you tuck your pants into the boot, and you maybe spray a little bit of bug spray around there. You can even duct tape them up. Some people have done that in the past. Tree planters used to do that. You don't have to do that, but that's one way to make sure that you don't get any ticks in your boot. And yeah, just a great way to prevent the bugs from gnawing at your feet. Another great use for these is shore fishing. You may be in a situation where you don't have a boat and you want to get out there just far enough to cast a little further. That's when these boots can come in handy. That can mean the difference between you eating that night or not. The grips on these is really good. There's a Vibram sole underneath, so a really tough, tried and tested sole. And when I was walking over the rocks, even if they were slippery, I still was able to get some good grip. So I think it's just all around a great boot, and hopefully they continue to improve the boots in the future, and I'm looking forward to see what the future iterations are going to be. So let me know if you've had any experiences in the comment section below. I'm going to post a link to these on Amazon if you want them. If you get some through that link, it helps out the channel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope these boots serve you as well as they have me. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this YouTube channel is to support yourself by gearing up through CanadianPreparedness.com or BugoutRoll.ca. Premium quality gear at the best possible price using the incredibly secure and easy to use Shopify platform. We offer free shipping to the United States for orders over $200 USD and free shipping to Canada over $75. So support the channel by supporting yourself.